Fellow Gamers, this is Tim for my third part of my review of AD&D, the DMG, first edition. It says that spells cast in combat can't be cast while walking and must be stationary. If interrupted, the spell fails. You have to say you're casting before the initiative round, the initiative is rolled, which I thought was kind of interesting. We kind of got away from that in more later editions of Dungeons and Dragons. It says that magical devices are actually better, especially in combat, because they are harder to interrupt. Various actions are described. The attack matrix is in the DMG and not in the player's handbook. It's also not in the monster manual for the monsters, which I thought was kind of different. Kind of strange. There's different tables for clerics, druids, and monks, then magic users and illusionists, and then fighters, paladins, rangers, bards. So depending on what class you are, you have a different matrix. And then 0 level humans and halflings. Another chart for thieves and assassins. And assassins get an assassination table. It's by level. And then the monsters get an attack matrix, unless the monster description says that they, they attack at a different level. You just use their hit dice. And some of them are better attacking than their level would suggest. There's a turn on dead table. There's psionics and saving classes. Or saving throws by classes. Monsters use the same table. So the monster description will say, saves like a 4th level wizard, for instance. The DM can give saving throw modifiers. And I've found that I rarely do this as a DM. And I've usually just used the standard, saving throw is this, listed for this trap. And I think I need to change that. I need to give some modifier bonuses, especially when they're, going through traps, or, maybe their intent was to take a long time in doing it, so maybe that gives them a bonus. Things like that. There's intoxication rolls, insanity rolls, and 20 types of insanity, which I thought was kind of nice. I'm used to just seeing like the Call of Cthulhu descriptions of these, so it was nice that AD&D threw those in there as well. They aren't real world as much. They're more fantasy translations of different types of insanity. So if you really want more in-depth discussion of them, go online, look for the different types of insanity, mental illness. There's an XP session, XP for monsters, and treasure. You get XP for acquiring treasure in this game. And Appendix E has standard XP per monster. I don't know about you, but I'm usually more rules light with XP. If I was doing a dungeon crawl, I might go back to the actual way the XP is done. But I tend to give out role-playing experience points. I tend to give out experience points for attendance. I've actually had, you show up 4 times, you gain a level. Or you gain level 1, 5 attendance, you get 2. Things like that. I've done those in the past. Sometimes I just we've been gaming for a while. Okay, you guys get another level. I really just don't like the upkeep. One thing I just wanted to mention that all the Player's Handbook, Monster Manual, and the DMG all have very small type. I think that's how they cram so much stuff in there, but I have pretty good eyesight. It's kind of small. I know for like Tetsubo has the magnifying glass, and I thought for this book I almost needed one at times. It's like, man, this writing is really small. It's hard to just sit down and read. So that was one thing that was nasty about it. So here, there's overall, it just seems to me, I'm more of a rules light guy. There's an overabundance of rules for different types of situations. Didn't feel like I needed them all. That's just something I noticed. For people that like to just look up what the rules are for different situations, it has a very good index in it. So that's good for those types of people. I don't usually have a problem with coming up with a common sense solution, or what you should roll or what you shouldn't roll. So it's just something I noticed as I was going through it. I found myself skipping sections. Like, okay, do I need to know this much detail on this specific topic? Excuse me, I think I've been talking too long. I'm starting to cough again. Here's a quote. What lies ahead will require the use of all your skill. Put a strain on your imagination. Bring your creativity to the fore. Test your patience and exhaust your free time. Being a DM is no matter to be taken lightly. It is no exaggeration to state that the fantasy world builds itself, almost as if the milieu actually takes on a life and reality of its own. Try to keep in mind climate and ecology. Try to be mindful of the real world effects of climate. In any event, do not allow either the demands of realism or the impossible make-believe spoil your setting. Climate and ecology are simply reminders to use a bit of care. There's a list of government forms and types. Let's see here. I'm coughing. I have to